Apart from the one round where they really just charged towards the B side, they had that read. They knew what Dignitas were going to do, trying to push mid. So they just charged onto B Astralis. Every round apart from that, pretty much it's just been them sitting and waiting for Dignitas to make the play. You're going to go aggressive, Dignitas. We're just perfectly happy to just sit and wait and run this clock down, because we know that you have to go for information plays. You go for the information play at the beginning to spot us at mid, and then eventually around the minute mark, you're going to have to go for another one. Especially now that you're down a man, Dignitas need to actually try and make something happen here.
They got that same setup, and it's one that Cloud9 used to love to run. Sean Gares would do this a lot, and I always hated it. I don't think Sean and I ever quite agreed on it, but my issue is that if Rubino misses a shot here, or if he's just smoked out, then MSL is alone entirely, so that's a big problem. But he's going to sneak up right into Dupree, and he ends up losing that fight. Bit of a problem there. Now, Rubino trying to see if he can maybe bring it back in favor of his team. He's got the AWP in hand and looking for another shot in. Bit of a shoulder peek coming out. 20 seconds left though, and now he's going to get snuck up in. Glaive, really good movement coming out, but down to the B bomb side, it's Config defending against the bomb. Device, if he goes down, the round might be lost, and I just realized, gonna connect with the spray. 10 seconds left, and Sipnix somehow gets the kill.
This is wild. How are they?
Buenas, gente. El directo no es oficial, así que no hay cajas aquí, ¿vale? Es para avisarlos que no es un directo oficial de CSGO, o sea, lo estoy poniendo por mi propia mano. Y bueno, que si queréis quedaros por mí, perfecto. Yo lo voy a grabar, lo voy a retransmitir aquí para que lo veáis, los que no podáis, y ya está. Un saludo.
The edge, Tensky trying to pull a fast one on with the USP, and he's gonna get it. He has enough time for the defuse as well with that kit. Lives with 6 HP, and those guys are like on the other side of the hall, and I can hear him shouting from here. So Dignitas pumped. That's another clutch for them.
Tensky actually had the AK, and he just never reloaded it. That seems like some next level type madness, because I'm sure he could have probably done that, but I'm not even convinced he couldn't have stuck the defuse the first time around to maybe just straight get it, but that's obviously a big risk as well. I think he might have had just enough time to actually do that. So 7-4 as a scoreline, and Dignitas still staying alive in spite of a really great fake. That was really impressive tactical depth coming out of Astralis, but they somehow managed to still throw away the round. So now we're back to tech lines and armor and a hell of a lot of grenades.
Yeah, just straight force here, no respect, and it's going to be the charge out onto the B side. The bomb is waiting by Monster, but they've got control of Soars. There's going to be going straight up short, and it's on Tensky and Config now to hold. Config did a lot of damage in the last round, and he continues to do so here. He takes down Dupree. Tensky on the side is going to spot the wrap from Kerrigan, but it is still a 3-on-3 somehow. Astralis are finding these trade kills, and they will get bomb plant.
Oh, how did Device get that kill on Tensky? Cajun was scoped up there, so he got the instant return, but that looked a bit ridiculous now. The bomb is planted a little bit further back than you normally would, so that's going to really help out Astralis. Again, not really a standard plant, and I absolutely love that. That smoke is going to help out a little bit. And Sit now hiding in the corner. They're going to boost on top to see if they can maybe spot it. Glaive is in a great position. He jumps and gets the kill on Rubino, and now all on Cajun, and this is not easy. He has got the kid. He's going to hold it down. He's got his back turn. He's just going to commit to it, and it will be Glaive the stand-in, picking up a triple kill here and making it 8 rounds for Astralis. Very good job indeed. And speaking of Glaive, overall, doing a pretty good job. 11 kills on him. Device on the top, which is what we like to see. But the fact that Glaive is doing fairly well right now, that's a sign of worry, I think, for everybody else who's in the tournament.
Yeah, he's holding his own right now. Lady Luck giving him a bit of a wink in that round as well. I mean, he lives at 2 HP. Like, if he jumps to spot Rubino, he should die. Like, just die. Rubino's already watching short. He should just never make it through. So Rubino falls short for his team in that round. Unfortunately for Dignitas, they're back to pistols. It's almost like the theme of this first half. They'll get around where they have rifles, great, but then they're right back to pistols again, and it's Astralis controlling the situation. Glaive with the pop flash attempt over in connector, and again, Team Dignitas, they have quite, they are.
Voy a quitar el chat que estaban escribiendo solo mierda. Es un momentín, chicos. Deja tu like, Albi. A ver, si da igual, si es un directo no oficial de la Cologne del CSGO. Vamos a ver mientras intentamos ganar una cajilla o algo de esto. A ver, voy a quitar el chat. Aquí está. A ver. Joder, no aparece, ¿eh? Pues se queda así. Con el chat de mierda. Que no pongas eso. Vas a poner mientras a Device. Bueno. Es mi jugador favorito de Astralis. Y bueno, me voy a silenciar para que se vea más en el directo. Saluda, Albi. Gracias por pasarte. Vale, que no moleste, a ver. Mm, 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 mm. Me silencio, ¿vale?
As well. Last time we went for a force, we rushed B, it worked. So let's just keep doing that. We have 2 rounds left in this half. If we get a bomb plant, we'll be able to force again in the next round. And so Astralis, yeah, they're just rinsing and repeating. They've only rushed B, and it's again just straight in. There's the AG to try and slow things up. They body block the smoke grenade. Kerrigan takes point, spots the man behind Classic, and he will find the kill just before going down. But Config is still alive in pit, and he gets both kills. This is quickly falling apart now for Astralis as Config just wipes them out. The ace for Config. And that was perfectly played by him, falling back, sacrificing his teammate, sure, but if you're going to get all 5 kills behind it, that's a worthy bait. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, great intuition coming out of Config as well. He does a pretty cool mix of playing very defensively, and then he actually, as they're setting up, he switches into playing aggressively once again. So just tries to catch them off in the middle of that push. That's going to put us in the 15th round, the last of the half here. And Astralis, either way, they're going to be satisfied with 8 rounds, but it's encouraging to see Dignitas starting to come alive a little bit here, and especially with Config getting an ace like that, should maybe put the team into overdrive, or at least encourage them a little bit.
Well, this bodes well for Dignitas. If Config is awake and he's hitting shots, he's one of the key players along with Cajun B. Both of them have been doing a fair job here for Dignitas so far. And while, again, they deliver, MSL is going to find Kerrigan, and Cajun B picks off Zipmix, and Cajun B will end the half. 2 kills, 3 kills total for him in the last round, and that's 7-8. Dignitas trail, but now they go into that T side, and if they win that pistol, it's going to be just brutal here for Astralis to try and get their heads in this game. But we're going to take a quick break here at the half before we get into the second one, so guys, don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Parece que Astralis por ahora va ganando por 1. Madre mía, cómo está el partido, por decirlo así, muy igualado. Está remontando ahora el Team Dignitas, como no, así. Y Astralis se está pillando ahora. Antes tenía un, bueno, como decirlo así, tenía un pequeño, ¿cómo se diga? No se me ocurre nada ahora. Pues ahora va a ser ronda de pistolas con un 7-8 para favor de Astralis. Y bueno, yo voy a apostar por Astralis igualmente. Aunque el Team Dignitas no lo está haciendo nada mal, ¿vale? Mientras pasan los 2 minutos voy a poner, no sé. No voy a poner nada, fácil, sencillo y para toda la familia. Mientras vamos a dejar esto aquí. Voy a mirar que se vea el directo. Vale, se ve. Mientras pasa esto, ya que entre 1 minuto y medio, ya para un momento el vamos a poner, yo que sé, a ver, esto mientras, la imagen de Twitch. Ahora pondré cuando empiece la ronda de pipas de la segunda ronda. Vale, ya están por aquí. Así que voy para allá.
When he went on later on, an ace as Overall, he played extremely well for Dignitas.
Por cierto, no gallinica
to keep his
salta,
team
3 para
in
5.
the first half. It does finish 8-7 in favor of Astralis, so they are going to be feeling quite good about that overall result. We'll see how it goes here in the second half. What do you think?
If we want to just look at straight kills right now, Config and Cajun, they're the only guys sitting in the mid-teens. The rest of the teammates, Tensky, MSL, and Rubino sitting on single digits right now. So it's like the two heavy hitters for the team that you have to look to have an impact for Dignitas to win are delivering. Now, what will tip things in Dignitas' favor is if a third player starts to wake up. You know, Rubino, if he starts to actually, you know, hit some key shots. He's had some success down at Connector in the first half on the CT side. Now on the T side, you know, he's going to be able to wake up and start, you know, leading the team in there to actually pick up these rounds. Not really seeing it just yet, but at least Config and Cajun, those are, like, all eyes are going to be on those two guys to actually deliver here for Dignitas.
Yes, and this is such a weird matchup just because of the domestic element. Obviously, so many Danish people playing against each other here. Also, the fact that Cajun used to play with the Astralis team, so he will know a lot about how they approach things and just their behavioral patterns in general. There are so many aspects of this match that make it quite hard to predict. But I mean, Astralis, you got to put them as favorites right now. Still, even with Glaive playing, I think that's going to be the main point to take away. Now we'll see if they can do just well on the CT side. It's now Cajun charging up with the whole rest of the team behind him. Dupree got to get back behind cover. Otherwise, the Glock train would simply run him over, and he realizes that much.
He spotted two as well. Kerrigan will be able to go for the confirmation, and he's going to get overrun. Config there to trade the kill on MSL, and now he's got a P2K to play with. That's actually, it's Rubino robbing him of the P2K. Still, that one-shot headshot potential is there now for Dignitas, so that's going to make Astralis a little antsy.
Look at Device. That charge up here. Now, this could sort of make or break the round. If he gets a couple of kills, or even just gets a kills and runs away, that's great. But if he commits to the fight and gets run over, then that might be a lot of trouble here. Device is going to meet him right on the stairwell, and Cajun going to run him down. So that's a big issue now. They give up a second of those CT pistols, a USP, and both of these are so good at range. This is a big problem for Astralis.
Yeah, this removes one of the CT strengths. The fact that at any range you can get that one-shot headshot versus the Glock, where even if you get a headshot at range, you're going to need 2 shots to get the kill. I mean, now, while Dignitas, they have that punching power, and they're going to group up together. So they're going to get the Glocks into the fight. They're going to lead the way with the Glocks. They should, at least. And then they'll have the P2K. They'll have the USP to actually, you know, clean things up afterwards. And right now, it's Glaive dancing around on that A site, just hoping to spot a shoulder somewhere, trying to get some information. Dignitas so far showing nothing, but they're going to have to start this push soon. 25 seconds left on the clock, and there we go. Config, he's been spotted by Glaive. This should actually open things up. As Glaive peeks out into mid, he sees just how much trouble he's in. It's all over now for Glaive. It's all on Zipmix and Dupree to make it happen. 2v4.
If Dignitas play this right, there should be almost no way in. What the hell was that headshot? Dupree taking out Cajun B in what looked like a bit of a ridiculous flick. Now they're going to try and see if they get onto the side here. The kit is currently dropped, and I think it's quite far away. I think it was on Device, in fact. So, oh, they just picked it up.
It was on Glaive.
Oh, it was on Glaive. That's a big relief right now. That might actually at least partially save the round here. But Device goes down, Dupree goes down, and Sipnik's now trapped, sandwiched in. They're coming from either angle, and he's going to end up dropping Config. Picks up a triple kill, and that was it. The kit, at least, I thought for a moment it was on Device. That would have been horrendous, but they do still pull through. Dignitas gonna equalize the score and make it 8-8. Speaking of Device, though, there has to be a time where you wonder, how far is he willing to go through with that flank, you know? Because if he stays in T-spawn and just hides, then he's still pretty close to being able to flank them at A. He could go back to B in case they sort of circumvented him and gone back to B through connector, so kind of wonder if it wouldn't have been better for him to sort of slow down a bit at some point.
That's what I thought he was going to do, actually. Just sit there. I mean, obviously we had the X-ray. We could see how close Team Dignitas were, so if Device had actually just sat there, he probably would have wrecked them. But you know, he decided to go in, probably trying to get into connector quick or something along those lines, right? And he gets punished for it. So it's just one of those things, those like what-if sort of scenarios where you can imagine how it would have played out. Unfortunately, the way it did play out means that Astralis were down basically the guy who's carrying them right now. And yeah, and you all saw how it played out. Both teams pick up a pistol round, and so Dignitas now, they get that strong that we were talking about with how close the scoreline is. Now Dignitas on the T side, they tie it up 8-8. Astralis, another team that doesn't really go for the Kevlar buys in the second round, will be on pistols, just pistols here. A couple of nades picked up though. Zipmix has that HE, so we'll see where he decides to use it. And then you have Glaive with a single flash grenade.
I like that. Thank you very much, Glaive. Dupree also with the Deagle might be one of the few people who actually run into anyone early on here. Either him or Carrigan, it seems. Not that I think Carrigan could do a lot of this range, except just spot out what's going on. He will see a couple of people running around, so quick rotation coming in, and Dignitas are going to continue on into the bomb side, it seems. Got to be careful they don't commit too much to this, but the early engagement working out just fine.
Nice by Carrigan. He had the angle right through the smoke, though. Glaive is going to get caught. Zipnix with that HE will find the kill. And so now it's on Device and Zipnix, the last two alive. Once again, Astralis find themselves retaking 2 men down here on the A side, and it isn't looking too hot. Device, he's got Tensky penned in, but he's not peeking, and Tensky finds a way out. Now Device has been spotted. He's got that CZ, and he's already found a headshot on Config, so they're doing a little bit of damage. Astralis would love to pick up another kill. That's the main goal here. Make it so that Team Dignitas only survive with 2 players in the round. Make it as expensive as possible for Dignitas. Because if they make it out with all 3 AKs, it's not ideal. Device is charged forward. Zipnik's not going to be able to follow it up. You can clearly see they were just like, right, if we can kill off Tensky, who's stuck on the site, we're all right. We've done our jobs. But Tensky, with the help of his teammates, survives, and it's 9-8. Dignitas, they're off to that start. They got over the first hurdle. They won that pistol. They survive against the pistols in the second. Now they just have to do it again, Anders, and get those 3 rounds that they deserve after winning the pistol on the T side.
I mean, the main test, the really big test, is going to happen in the 4th round, the upcoming round. That's when Astralis can afford all the equipment, and they will be able to buy a lot of it. Again, they haven't really invested too much into these early rounds. So if Dignitas can beat them there, we have a very interesting game in our hands. It'll be hard to call who comes out on top, but I think if Astralis win the upcoming round, not this one, but the next one, then who knows? They might run away with the game. I could see that happening.
We're already seeing the difference here in how they call as well. MSL, Kerrigan. Dignitas didn't go for a B stack at all when they were ecoing, right? They chose to charge mid, which was why we saw, I think it was Cajun or was it MSL chuck an HE into mid, you know, in case you go for that mid charge with the pistols, you take that HE to the face, you're going to be a very sad person. Instead, Astralis was just like, right, we're going to just bet. We'll put everybody on B at the beginning. They've rotated 2 players up to A, which I'm not a huge fan of. I mean, it's like, actually, if you're just going to go for the stack, go for the stack. Leave one guy on A, but yeah, Zipnix is still here. Okay, so they actually did do that. They still got Zipnix there to support
For
example. He's there with the flashbang, so this is something that we've been bringing up for so long and actually been criticizing a lot of teams for, especially on Cobblestone. There are just so many ways to spring this trap. So if you look at Zipnix right now, he's got the flashbang in hand, and the whole round hinges on this guy throwing a good flashbang when the push happens, because they can clean up with the pistols if that flashbang is good, but it's pretty hard to do that, especially if they're going to come in from the L-bend as well. These people from Monster Tunnel should be flashed when the flashbang goes through, and it's actually out already. No, Reno turning around, really good reaction, and MSL gonna clean up instead. Just complete failure coming out of Astralis, losing 3 men early on, and another 2 coming in. MSL quad kill with the Mac 10, which is gonna land him at about, well, almost 7,000 at the beginning of this round, so pretty good stuff there. It's still a good idea, but they were a little bit too slow with the flashbang. They were already pushed in.
Yeah, that was it. And Rubino, you see how the reactions play out, man? Boom, just turns around as soon as he sees the flash coming. Completely ineffective flash in the end.
And that's why I say it was too late, because it's supposed to go in so that it just comes around the sort of the actual pillar. They're not supposed to see it sort of be thrown from up there.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Astralis were just holding so passively, right? They were just crouched and waiting. They weren't peeking to get the info to spot. But that's the way it plays out. Sometimes, you know, you've got those pistols. You know, it really is like a bit of a small chance, especially when you're rocking mostly P2000s to actually win the round. So it's not going to be the end of the world here for Astralis. If they lose this round, though, it's going to start looking grim. They've got those 4 rifles. They've got the AWP on Kerrigan. And again, the AWP on Kerrigan. Device just doesn't seem to want to have anything to do with the sniper rifle right now, even though he got a clutch with it in the first half.
It's hard to tell sometimes, and I mean, we don't know what they've been practicing, but this is a team that has had that challenge for a while, you know, who actually picks it up. And when Cajun sort of was picked up on the team originally, that was supposed to be his job, and then he wasn't too consistent with it. Then they try and make Device the main one, and I guess now Kerrigan doing a little bit of everything, it seems. He is pushed up a little bit aggressively here, and he doesn't have that much backup. Dupree is close behind him, but if they were to run him down, don't see him making it out. So I kind of like the fact that he's falling back. Astralis have gone for a setup that allows Dignitas to sort of take control of most of the map without using too much utility, which means they still have 4 smokes in their on their team that they can use to maybe block down this bomb site and just get in there and get the bomb down.
Exactly. Oh, look at this. And Glaive is rotating back towards B. So they really are trying to bolster the defense on that B site. Dignitas, they went to it in the last round. Would they go for it again? No. MSL is calling for an A play here. 20 seconds left, though. I mean, they're not leaving themselves any time, any room to work with. Kerrigan with the first pick on Rubino, and then the rest of Dignitas are just going to charge up on long. Flash there to even buy more time. Kerrigan going to miss the follow-up shot. 10 seconds left as Cajun takes out Dupree. But this is all the pressure now to get this bomb down. The flash is effective. 2 kills come through for Glade. He could get the third, but MSL is going to shut him down. And it's a man advantage now for Astralis going into the retake.
Oh, this is going to be tough for Dignitas to try and hold on to. MSL very much out in the open. That's a good smoke to come through. But Device walking in from behind. Going to take down both MSL and Tensky. And you're right, not a lot of time. And Astralis pretty quick with the rotation there. That's going to give them the round. And we will be at 10-8. So that was a big test for Astralis. They absolutely needed to win that round. They only lost 2 members. That's also a good sign that their economy is at least improving. This flash with the smoke there is just perfect teamwork.
That was nuts. But yeah, what I'm wondering right now is, because this is that Danish matchup, right? The mind games are going to go so deep. What I'm wondering is if MSL and Kerrigan are overthinking things, right? Because we saw it for the T side on Astralis, where they kept running down that clock down to 20 seconds before actually pushing onto a site. We're seeing it here with MSL. They didn't leave themselves any time to work with their Dignitas. It was literally just like 15 seconds, run up, plant the bomb, cross your fingers and hope that nobody's going to dunk a nade on you or just spray through the smoke and cancel it, because then you lose the round, right? That's cutting it way too close. In general, you want to see teams start to actually execute onto a site with like 40 seconds, 35 seconds left in the round, so they have some room to maneuver with if something goes wrong when the push goes through. So Dignitas, they need to tighten up their game. MSL needs to start being a bit more decisive with the calls here and getting them going a bit earlier in the round so that they aren't getting caught out just like there.
It feels like both teams really want, on the terror side, they want the CT side to come and find them first. You know, they're hoping for some aggression that they can play into and maybe win an early fight like that. And both CT sides have been pretty defensive. I think Dignitas showed a bit more creativity on the CT side, and then Astralis have so far. Spray down from Sip, that's a pretty good angle there, and they're trying to follow up on it, but Device is there to cover his back, so that's a 2-for-0 trade, and Glaive coming in. So a 3-man setup on B, they each pick up a kill. It could not possibly be any better at this point in time now. All on Cajun to try and make this round expensive. He does get the shot on Glaive, but not the kill, and that's going to be a flawless round coming out of Astralis to tie up the scoreline at 10-10.
Flawless is right. That's where everything plays out perfectly, right? Zipnix gets the first pick on short. That successfully baits Rubino in through Monster into Device, who was waiting. And I mean, Glaive with the rotate down from CT, then saves Zipnix. It's like everything step by step fell into place for Astralis for that defense to just hold perfectly versus Dignitas. That's kind of where like your stomach kind of drops if you're Dignitas, where you're just like, well, you know, we just got owned in that round. Really, what else can we do? You know, we're trying to bring it back. We're trying to get the kill to get the punish. But Astralis were one step ahead the entire time, and now look at this from Kerrigan, man. He is aggressive, and there's pistols coming at him right around the corner. He's going to be able to pick up the kill, and he has support from his teammate and connector. Dupree, though, getting headshot down to 64.
Yeah, they don't want to overcommit to try and sort of save this AWP, and it looks like they sort of managed to calm down a little bit. But the worst thing that can happen is if you just try and run in one at a time to take a fight. But looks like they managed to stop the flood of Dignitas that were running up there. A little bit scary for Cajun for a moment, oh sorry, for Carrion for a moment.
That's like an opera's worst nightmare, right? It's like you hear the footsteps and you're like, wait. I hear a lot of footsteps. Sounds like a herd coming at me, not just like the single lone gunman. That was the troop, and if you're an opera, you've got one shot, and then you're back onto your pistol, and you're just hoping that the guy isn't going to be there to trade on you the way he should be with Tech 9s, right? So, yeah, definitely a little bit of a scary situation, but they managed to keep control. Astralis now lead 11-10. And ever since picking up that first gun round, I mean, things have been looking up here for Astralis. Dignitas now, they've got rifles again. Cajun, no AWP for him. It's just the AKs across the board here for Dignitas and a healthy nade count. So let's see if they just decide to be a little bit more decisive. If they actually decide to get in here and be a bit more aggressive, that's what I'm looking for here for Dignitas. They just need to get out there and charge into the defense, just beat Astralis straight up.
Well, again, very quick and very nearly worked last time with pistols, so why not try it with rifles? They're going to go for a quick trade here. Flashbang comes up, Tinsky's low on health and flashed in the corner. Glaive doing a very good job. I don't think he needs to recommit to this, and he can't fall back, unfortunately, trying his best there, and I think he got some help. Some flashbangs coming up from behind, but he still ended up going down, so now 3-on-3 here, and this is a much quicker round coming out of Dignitas. Device and Sipnix, though, are in good position to try and deal with this.
If they lose this round, Dignitas, they're going to be so frustrated just because they literally went for that. They're like, right, enough of this sitting around and waiting. Charge at them, take the fight to them, look for the headshots. If you've gone through all of your options and then this one fails you, it's going to be looking grim. But Cajun B's there to open things up. He takes down Zipnix. Device still crouching on the site, though, has a chance to step in here and actually have an impact. But he gets forced off the angle. He decides to give it up, and that bomb is going to get planted. They line up for Device, but he misses the second kill. And it's all on Kerrigan now, 1v2.
Oh man, what a round already now. Kerrigan here, he's got a smoke, he's going to put it close to try and fake them out. He's got the AWPs, that smoke is going to do a lot for him. They have to go and peek him now every once in a while. A Molotov also coming in, he's up on top of the box, he's going to be Config reveals himself, and there it is! Kerrigan clutching it! Oh, this man has had so many rounds in his life where it gets so close, and this is one of the few times he actually does it. And that was masterful play. He uses the smoke and then forces them to go and peek. He picks them off, and I think Config, if he hadn't fired that rifle, then Kerrigan would have been hard for him to check that corner. He wouldn't have known to check it. So just a tiny, tiny error. Look at Kerrigan. He doesn't know that Config is there until he fires that gun. Oh man, that's a big round. That might be the pivotal rounds here between these two teams.
Oh, absolutely. That's going to completely turn things. Not only did you get beat up at the beginning of the round when you chose to go ultra aggressive, but then you lose a clutch to Kerrigan. Not saying like that like it's a bad thing, you know, but you're right. I mean, we've seen a lot of situations where Kerrigan, he gets 3 kills, 2 kills, but he fails to get the last one and clutch it for his team. This time, against Dignitas, it actually works. Well,
Hola chicos, ¿cómo estáis? Quiero comentaros una cosita que me estáis preguntando muchas cosas por Twitter y voy a intentar responder todas las preguntas. Número 1, ¿hay que poner algo en el chat? No, no es necesario. Lo que pasa es que alguien lo pone y alguien sin saber lo vuelve a poner y alguien sin saber lo vuelve a poner y no paran de spamear el chat, pero no es necesario. Más cositas. Me habéis comentado que tenéis varias cuentas y queréis farmearlas todas a la vez, a ver si tenéis más posibilidades de este modo. Sí, sí se puede. 2 navegadores, 2 cuentas linkeadas. Ponéis el Twitch oficial, lo dejáis ahí y quién sabe, si luego más tarde podéis obtener un souvenir. Más cositas. Me habéis preguntado que si puedes minimizarlo. Claro que puedes minimizarlo, ¿vale? Ya que como va por IDE, si tu IDE está conectada al Twitch mediante IP, ¡bam! Ya participas, no es necesario hacer absolutamente nada. Bueno chicos, os deseo mucha suerte a todos y bueno, si tenéis alguna pregunta más, no dudéis en preguntarme que os la responderé.
Haven't been really hitting it too hard, so things are looking up here. We're looking at Zipnix actually, who's trailing a little bit here on Astralis. If you look at the scoreboard, just the scoreboard, right, with the kills, Zipnix is still sitting on single digits, whereas the rest of his team are starting to get into the teens. Dupree, Kerrigan, kind of lagging behind Device and Glaive, though. I mean, it's still mind-blowing to see that Glaive is the one who's right up there with Device right now. 21 kills for him. It has to make you wonder, you know, how Astralis decided to set up this CT. Did they just actually ask Glaive, like, right, where do you play? And just make your stand-in as effective as possible and just gave him his spots?
It could be something like that. I mean, he's also going to be playing with less pressure. Because for all he knows, this is a one-time thing until Kerbu's back in it. Now, I did tweet quite a while ago when they announced this was happening. I said, this is probably going to end up like some sort of liquid Kusta situation where Glaive does really well, and suddenly everyone is like, well, should they keep Glaive and you know, never mind Kerbu? I tweeted that because I thought that would be, you know, a good little prediction to put in, but...
Get your fix on the drama.
Of course, you know, of course. I doubt it very seriously, in all honesty, but, you know, from Astralis' point of view, if they can make it out of the group here, I mean, this is the easiest group by some margin, but still, if they can make it out, considering they're not playing with their real lineup, even that, I think, would be sort of a bit of a victory, and then anything beyond that, I guess we'll see how it goes. Right now, MSL sneaking on down through connector, there is Dupree and Kerrigan, and this time Dupree, he wants to check that corner, and Cajun's on the other side.
Now that setup is there. I mean, 3 players waiting, and now the push comes through. Cajun rewarded. Again, you have to remind people that Cajun, he's playing against his old team, so he's waiting for the push to come out. Maybe he's thinking, right, so if we show ourselves over here, what Astralis used to do with this, or the tendency of my teammate was this, he would do this. You know, right, he has all this inside info that he gets to play off of now, which is just going to make Astralis' life a little bit more difficult. Dupree, you know, he finds that out. Kerrigan somehow lives long enough to find a kill on Rubino, though, and he gets the follow-up as well. MSL is down. Now Kerrigan will finally get traded by Config, who was a little late coming up from long, but Kerrigan made the difference. It's a 3-on-3, and now a 3-on-2, and Zipnix just going ham behind Optimus. Finally gets shut down. This isn't looking good.
There's no
Conflict's
time.
only got 8. Yeah, exactly. He's got 8 HP and no time.
And he goes down after the time has run out, I believe. So that's an even bigger problem there. I don't know why Carrigan survived the first initial fight, because he was flashed and out in the open. And then afterwards, some incredible flicks coming out of the Danish captain. That's very impressive. So 13-11, and moving into the 25th round. And Dignitas, it's been some key rounds here that they needed to win, and they just haven't. So now they're in a really tough position economically. It's not that Astralis are actually doing much better. Both teams are kind of low in economy, so whoever wins this upcoming round could, well, from Astralis' point of view, either almost win the game, or Dignitas could be right back in it.
If they could reset here.